Well, I think it's time we had a look at our schedule. G'day guys, and welcome back to Leila Central. My name's Clint, your average modeler, and today we're doing a layout update and just seeing where I'm actually placed on my task board, as you can see here. Now the task, essentially whiteboard, is what you can see here. For March, I actually had listed, by the end of March, I wanted my fiddle yard track work laid 100%. And then obviously in the beginning of April, oh, not the beginning, but through April, I wanted to achieve my industry bench work for the cement plant and also get a video done for painting cement plant windows. So, well, anyway, let's have a look at the fiddle yard area and see how I went. Okay, now here we are at the fiddle yard area, and as you can see, I do have my track work in. Now you may have a look over essentially into these corners, so here and over here, and go, hang on, you haven't finished it yet. Well, these are essentially the two lines that I'll be going through over to Shilton Station. Now I won't worry about hooking those up, purely because, well, I haven't got any main track lines done in those areas. I will eventually, but not as yet. Now, as you can see here, we do have quite a few runs. This line right here doesn't go right through. This is just a dead end siding because I plan to store a lot of wagons here. But otherwise, I do have quite a few lines through. So we're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different lines. Now they can store different lengths of trains. I do have the ability on some of the lines to store 9 coaches in length plus a locomotive, and then others obviously not as long. Now one of my challenges that I actually had was the essentially the turnouts for both areas, as I'll show you through here. So at this end here I have 3 lines coming into my actual fiddle yard area here. Now, as you can see, I've got a bit of quite a few turnouts here. Ignore these ones; these are just sitting here because I've been fiddling with them. So obviously my biggest challenge was having 3 lines coming in or going out on this direction, depending which way the trains were facing. And then over in the far line over here, it was going to need to exit or come into 4 different lines. If I just move this spare bit of track out of the way, we're looking at this here. So right here we've got the slow goods line, the 2 main lines, and the other outer line just out here. So coming from 3 lines on one end to 4 on the other end did pose a bit of a challenge on how I was going to actually manage this. Now, one of the things that I decided to do is these 2 outer lines here, because if we have a look at the track plan for Shilton, over earlier, it is actually 3 lines, as you can see here, and this line outside here, which is essentially the down loop or the slow goods loop, is essentially this line right here. So what I decided to do is make the fiddle yard have these 2 lines eventually come up into just the one line, as you can see over further right here. So that outer loop or down loop, if you want to call it, I've essentially got 4 through lines that I can store trains and different things on. And this one here, as I mentioned, it's just a dead end, as you can see over further. Sorry, I'm going to get my camera work better here. Over to here. And the idea is I wanted a super long coal train at some point. Something that really makes use of that slow down goods. I will have other goods trains as well, but this one in particular here, I wanted to double the length. So this entire length right here from one to the other is easily going to be about 50 to 60 coal wagons long, which is exactly what I'm actually after. Now, with these lines here, obviously, in my fiddle yard, I've got 2 of the lines currently hooked up to the bus wiring. The others I haven't, purely because, well, let's face it, I don't have all my track work in around the main layout. This is just the fiddle yard, so I haven't needed to worry about wiring the others in. And the other thing is also, as I've looked at this versus all my locomotives and rolling stock, I really don't have a lot in the way of filling this up. So that means, yep, lots of shopping down the line as things go on. Yeah, so I've got a big fiddle yard and I don't have the stock to fill it just yet. So in time, it'll prove its worth. And obviously the main goal is just to get a mainline train on the 3 lines and just get things going, which will be later on. So when we have a look for March, my challenge was to essentially get all this track work in, especially the turnouts over further, get all this hooked up and done. And I have actually done that. And as I mentioned, these 2 lines here haven't been put in because they're the 2 lines that I'll essentially go back onto the layout, which I won't worry about until the time on my schedule is. So let's go back to the whiteboard and we'll see how we're going. Okay guys, now we're back at the whiteboard, so I've essentially hit done on the status for the essentially the fiddle yard. Very happy with how that's gone. So, and as we know, we're now in April now. My challenge for this month was essentially to get me industry benchwork and the cement plant windows painted and chuck a video up in regards to painting it. So obviously it's the start of April. Let's see what's actually happened. So a few changes have actually happened in regards to the benchwork and the layout of some things in the layout room. So those that remember through previous videos, my main lines run through here. Now one of them was going to have a turn off, follow along the main line and then curl off. Essentially what was going to be where I'm standing and right here, the yard for the cement plant. Now I've shuffled a few things around and obviously the cabinet's still there, but you can actually see all this space right over here at the moment, and that's because this big unit used to be across here lengthways. And I used to have a bit of a table right here, which was on wheels as my hobby table. Now, what I've actually done, and I'll just get the camera to refocus there. There we go. So what I've actually done is I've disassembled my table. It was driving me nuts. It was too big. I didn't need it to be that big. All I needed was a hobby table. So I've dismantled it and gave myself a lot more room. And as you can see, I've now essentially moved that unit right around here. I've got a good space over here to get through if I need to, so I can still walk around my layout. And what I've actually done so far is branched the cement plant over into this area here. Now, I'm pretty stuck up here for space at the moment against the benchwork. But as you can see here, I've got a good bit of length of actual track of benchwork. Now, for those that are actually interested, the length of this benchwork, so starting from over to here, from here all the way down to this corner right here, is 9 feet long, or just over 9 feet essentially. So as you can imagine, the train is going to be over here with the benchwork. It's going to come over here, it's going to curl around, come out here a bit, curl back around, and then into what will be the actual cement plant itself. Now this is a bit more, or not just a bit more, it's a heck of a lot more bigger than the previous cement plant that I had in temporarily, and this is going to provide a lot of, essentially a lot of opportunity, both for track work, scenery, buildings. As we look at my notice board later on, I'll have a discuss on what that actually might mean. So here's another view of the benchwork. So I'm standing right next to essentially the unit. So the benchwork come across here. Now the actual width of the benchwork at the moment is 2 foot wide right across here, which I'm quite happy with. I will probably put in a nice little corner, 45-degree angle corner here to make it nice and smooth. Well, not really smooth, but certainly not have these sharp corners like this sticking out. So as you can see, as it comes around here, you can see part of my benchwork, which is right here, that already sticks out. So we will hook it up, we'll raise it up on some feet and get that actually going. And as you can see, there is a lot of stuff under here. Now, bear in mind, this is all going. This is all rubbish. Some of the timber, like these things, some of the chipboard over further, I will be using. But a majority of all this was part of the old bench work that I had for my hobby table. I've disassembled it, I've collected the rubbish, put it in one spot over here, which will eventually make its way out. So we are cleaning up a bit. Now this post here, you can already see is already on a bit of an angle. That's only a temporary brace just because of how wide this bit of the bench work actually is. So it's just there to hold it. It doesn't need to be level because, yeah, all of this is going to be linking, hooking up to this, and I'll put in the proper feet and legs as well. So yeah, that's just a temporary solution at the moment. Now obviously with the disassemble and removing of my hobby table, I've obviously needed to find a new thing. Now I had this desk, a bit of an old desk, in the actual garage of my home, and I looked at it and I thought, hang on, I could be using that, because ideally I wanted the big bench that I did have previously to go underneath this actual bench work and pull it out as needed. So as I've looked at it, I'm going, you know what, I reckon that table will work. So what I've done is I took the wheels of the other table that I built, put them on the bottom of the desk here, and she slides in perfectly underneath my bench work there. And as you can see, I've got my airbrush, I've got my paints, I've got all sorts of bits and pieces, plenty of space. When it's not in use like this, I just slide it underneath the actual bench work, and then when I want to actually use it, I can just essentially pick it and drag it, roll it outwards, and get to work. So very happy with its relocation. It's going to serve me quite well right there, and I can just sit at it with a normal chair, whereas previously I was standing at my other hobby desk, which was good, but if I wanted to sit, that's when it was starting to become annoying. So this will work quite good, and obviously very handy for actual videos when it comes to videoing painting or techniques, all sorts of things that I'll actually do, because I can either sit my camera on the bench work here and point it dead straight down, so you can look at it, you know, right down at this sort of level. Excuse the Family Guy DVD, I've been watching a bit of that, or listening to it while I've been working in here. So for example, I'll just slide the table out a little bit. So there you go, got it out, nice clear line, bit of light, and you know, I can sit my camera directly above so you can see what I'm doing, or put it closer, whatever it may actually be. So no, she's going to work very, very good, and I'm a lot more happy with this than what it was previously. So yeah. Now one of the other things that I had, so once I'd actually done all the track work for the actual footy yard, I had an idea. I was ahead of schedule really. I thought, all right, I want to get more trains running. So I actually started to lay the main line of this bit of track right here. Now, which wasn't part of this month of April, certainly wasn't part of March's either. So, and I've made a bit of progress. So as you can see, I've got this line essentially fixed in. It's not powered up yet. I haven't even finished it yet either. But essentially I've got the main, second main line going in, and I've essentially stopped it just near Brinkley, right over here where the actual crossing is. So I managed to get some of that done as well. And the other reason I stopped is because I thought, hang on a second, this month I wanted to actually get the bench work in for the cement plant. So I completely forgot about my schedule. I thought, right, let's stop this for now and get into the bench work, which, as you can see just beforehand, it's already commenced. Okay, so as we have a look at my schedule, really, I'm starting to make some pretty good progress. So obviously in April, the task was to add the industry benchwork, so that started, and hopefully I can get that all up, hooked up and done. So all the feet put in, the tops put in, the bus wiring, get essentially all that in and ready to go. And obviously for May, the main line in a loop, which I've listed there, it has been started as we mentioned before, and I'll obviously lay the industry track work for the cement plant. So at this stage, April's going well. We certainly completed March and its target. As we look at April, yeah, just need to get that bench work done and hang in there. I will be getting a cement plant, another painting video out, more specifically on the cement plant windows, which will conclude the first building for it. And then obviously much more later on, we're going to be looking at doing more painting of the cement plant, such as the concrete silos, etc. So at this stage, everything's looking good. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the benchwork for the cement plant is a lot larger than what was initially anticipated, by quite a significant amount of length and space. Now that also means then I will most likely be able to get more buildings or more industry related buildings to the cement plant. So obviously we're not at that point yet where I'll be looking at laying the actual track work, which is in May. However, I'm going to see whether I can get in another industry that works with it. Now I'm talking like either power, coal, all manner of different things, something that will tie in with it. So rather than just having cement going out and some bits and pieces being delivered, I'm trying to see what else I can put in there. Don't want to cram it though. I do want it to look very prototypical. I want it to look nice and not overcrowded, but at the same time though, I certainly do have some extra space to put another building or two relating to that. So what does that actually mean? Well, it might mean that as I look at, for example, July, still continue along, finish painting the cement plant with the concrete size, etc. But then in July, obviously I've got their cement plant painting details and track painting and all that stuff. So I may actually push some of these tasks out a month. So July would be the August to September, and so on and so forth. Depending on what buildings I'm going to add extra, because they were not foreseen, and as a result it may be changing the schedule, as you can see right here. But so far otherwise, we've made some great progress, and hopefully I can continue this momentum, and we'll see how things go. And so thanks all for watching, and if you're the first time watching this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button, of course, and if you're one of my new subscribers as well, welcome aboard, guys. I do appreciate you guys following me on this journey and what I'm actually doing, and hopefully not too much longer we'll be getting a painting video out. So I know some people do enjoy my painting videos, and I certainly have had some subscribers asking me, is there going to be any more? So absolutely there is. I do enjoy the painting aspect, and we'll get that all sorted. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I will see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye now.